Hello everyone, it's Jerry Caudell, the Yankee Creek Stitcher. I'm back for Flosstube number 15 and it is Thursday, January 31st. Wow, this month is already gone. It's hard to believe. It's been a great 2019 so far though. I've gotten a lot done at least. The weather's cooperated. I like it to at least be cold for a little bit so I can hibernate and not feel guilty about not getting outside to enjoy the sunshine. So I enjoy January, February that I can, you know, hibernate, get lots of stitching done. So I'm enjoying the year and I am getting a lot of stitching done. Thank you for everyone stopping by, visiting, catching up with me each week, and hitting that subscribe button. We're up to 1,400. I'm going for 1,500 for the next giveaway. So we are so close. I appreciate everyone commenting and encouraging and just the great comments and loving all the projects that I'm doing, and I'm enjoying it. I'm really enjoying doing Flosstube and sharing with you everything I get done each week. It's very motivational, keeping my gears going. So what I have been up to, I finished 2 pieces of furniture from last week. I just need to get some hardware for my other piece and it'll be fully finished. But I did refinish a piano bench and a table that I have in my foyer, and I will include pictures of those here. So the piano bench I finished in what was called a charcoal color. I just put 1 coat of the chalk paint on there and distressed it. And then the table was the chiffon cream that I did my hutch in. And as you've seen, it was just, you know, just a natural brown with you know, a light brown stain on it. And I just did the chiffon cream. I think I did 2 coats of the chalk paint on it and then distressed it. Thrilled with it. I think it looks great. I'm very happy with it. I've got the one other table, like I said, to get the hardware on, and then I have 1 more piece that I want to refinish. So I'm loving it. I think it looks great. Kind of giving my house a little spruce up. So I jumped on the Instagram bandwagon this week. I joined Instagram. I am on Instagram as Yankee Creek Stitch. Just search for that, Yankee Creek Stitch, and I'll come up there. Right now there's the Beehives Matter is my photo on there. I'm loving it, keeping up with all the Flosstubers that I watch each week, to see them each day and what they're stitching on and getting involved with. Oh my gosh, it's just great. I have started and finished 1 piece this week and finished another piece. It's just great being able to see each person's progress every day instead of like once or twice a week whenever they do their updates on Flosstube. So, and I found some awesome charts that I've added to my wish list that it's never ending. It never stops growing. But that's okay. That's okay. There's some beautiful charts out there that I wouldn't normally see. So I'm loving it. So find me on there. If you're a stitcher, follow me, and I would love to follow you. But it is for stitching progress. That's the only thing I'll have on there. And I wanted to share with you Cheryl McKinney with Tranquil Stitches. She did a tag on her Flosstube last week and asked any Flosstubers that watch her if they would do it as well. So I told her I would answer her tag questions this week. So here we go. Number 1, What is your sign? I am a Scorpio. I'm right on the line of Scorpio and Sagittarius, so depending on what chart you look at, but I'm pretty much Scorpio most of the time. Have you ever skinny dipped? I have, and we'll just leave it right there. She didn't ask for details, so I just answered your question. What TV show is your guilty pleasure? I love Downton Abbey and the PBS show Poldark. I love the British PBS shows. I just love watching them, and people look at me like I'm weird when I say that. I know Downton Abbey was pretty popular, but I just love those shows based on kings and queens and the prince and princesses. I love those movies and those TV series, so that's my guilty TV pleasure. Do I hide any food from family? I don't. If I ever have, it's been chocolate. If it's the last few pieces of chocolate, I'll, you know, take it to my studio or put it in my bedside table or something. But I think what I'm really bad about is if I get a really good dessert, like if we go to the Cheesecake Factory, and I bring home a piece of cheesecake, I threaten them within an inch of their life to not eat my cheesecake or a really good donut or something. Do not touch my dessert, my cheesecake, whatever it is, do not touch it. Or if I feel like they're going to, I'll just go ahead and eat it. So I don't hide it, but I make sure they clearly understand it's mine and to not touch it. I am a huge sweet eater, and you just don't mess with my sweets. Who was the first person I kissed? It was Scott Gravel back in middle school, like 6th or 7th grade. I don't know whatever happened to him, but that's who it was. What is my worst habit? My worst habit, and my husband would probably agree with me, is at the end of the day, I take my clothes off and they all get thrown in a pile. Or when I'm getting ready in the morning and I don't know what I'm wearing yet, I will throw a pair of pants and a shirt on. If I don't like one of them, I'll take them off, throw them in the pile. Put something else on. If I don't like whatever it is, take it off, put it in the pile. So there's usually a big pile of clothes near the closet door that I'm like, I clean it up maybe once a month. So in the mornings, I'm like digging through it to find whatever I'm wanting to wear if I didn't hang it back up. But about once a month, I'll go through and hang it all back up. Otherwise, I'm like going through my pile of clothes, which it's frustrating for me to do that, but I continuously do it. I don't know why, but it drives me crazy. But that's my worst habit. Do I sleep with a stuffed animal? No, I do not. Never have. If you became invisible, what's the first thing you would do? And that's a hard question. And I thought. It's like, I don't know. I asked my daughter, and she said she would play pranks on people. And she's a huge prankster anyway. She said it would be even better because, you know, you can move stuff around and people would never know what's going on. So I guess, you know, just play pranks. It's probably get her back because she's, oh my gosh, she's constantly scaring us and doing silly things to us. So I guess that would be my answer as well. Do I have a silly nickname? I don't. No. Have you ever eaten something off the floor? I have. I have. Not that it's like lay down there for a long time, but something hits the floor and it's like something really good, or I have been known to snatch it up off the floor and popped it back in my mouth. So I have. Have I ever been stood up? Not that I remember. I've been married for over 20 years and I really didn't date a lot, so I would say no on that one. Ever used someone else's toothbrush? I have never used someone else's toothbrush. Just the thought of that is, ugh. I think I have, if I've stayed the night with a friend or something, use their toothpaste and like just put it on my finger and use my finger. There's no way I would use someone else's toothbrush. Can't do that. Nope. So thanks for sharing that tag, Cheryl. I hope you enjoyed it. She had us do that just to, you know, get to know each other a little bit better. So there you go, Cheryl. Thanks for doing it. I had a question about my Christmas tree from my last Flosstube. Asked where I got it. I said I had gotten it for Christmas. I had found it at Cracker Barrel. It was after, you know, they were getting rid of all their Christmas decorations. It was obviously right near Christmas, but it had marked down 50%. It was one of their display trees that they had all kinds of ornaments on, and that pretty much all the ornaments were gone. And they marked the tree down 50%, you know, just to get it out of the way. And so I lucked into it. It was one of a kind right there. And the pineapple cross stitch that I had showed that I had finished last week, or fully finished last week, that was a free chart from DMC, and it is still on their website still as a freebie. I actually got on there this week. I had gotten an email from them. They had free Valentine charts. So I hadn't downloaded any yet, but go to dmc.com and search pineapple and it should pop up for you. And I am also going to start doing links in the little drop down box under my videos to link the different Flosstubers and the different websites that I reference. So hopefully that will help as well. So you can look below for that too. And last week I had said someone had mentioned stitching the Prairie Schooler Santa ornaments 1/1 on 28 count, and that was Melody Ritchie. She was kind enough to comment on my last Flosstube and say, hey, it was me. So it was Melody Ritchie's idea, and I think someone else had commented that they do that as well. So I love it. I did not work on it any this week, but it's still in my next to my stitchy spot to work on. So okay, so that was all the questions and comments from last week. I did have a stash enhancement, and let me go grab that. I forgot to pull it for my video. Okay, so I did spend a little bit of money this week. Misty Purcell with Luminous Fiber Arts. I will link her below as well, her Flosstube and her Etsy shop. She did another release last Friday of a new chart she designed called A Bluebird's Message. I got the PDF copy. You can get the PDF, or she has the printout that you can have shipped to you as well. But it's Bluebird's Message. Sorry, this is black and white, but it's pink and red and of the bluebird here. And as I was perusing her Etsy shop, I also got Prairie Schooler Signs of Spring. Did you hear that? Signs of Spring. And I am not a spring stitcher, but I seen this chart, and these little stitches are 33 by 44. Yeah, 44 high, 33 wide. Oh my goodness. So they're tiny as they are, but all the birds, the chickens, and I'm usually not big on sheep and bunnies, but they're so cute. And I seen, just from being on Instagram a day, Helen D, she posted maybe this morning, she finished Bent Creek's Easter row. And oh my goodness, it is so adorable. Someone had mentioned on my Flosstube, I don't remember if it was the last one or the one before, saying now that I finished that hutch, they bet that I start stitching some spring charts. Like, nah. But yeah, I've added them to my list. I've already got one chart here. I've made note of Bent Creek's Easter row because, oh my gosh, it is adorable. And I will link Helen's Flosstube below. Or actually, that was on her Instagram. She'll probably share that on her Flosstube this week or next week. So yeah, I have added some spring stitches to my list to do. So this was the original cardstock that I got from Misty. So that was my 2 purchases. My whip, I only have 1 whip this week. I had started on the Prairie Schooler back in December. And so after I had a couple finished this week, actually I finished one last night, I pulled this out and started stitching on it again last night. I got a couple hours in on it. And I had previously done Chill December and I think BRI and this couple of snowflakes. Last night I did Sleet, and these snowflakes here, started on the fireplace. So for a couple hours worth of work, it's not too bad. This is being stitched on 36 count macchiato that I had purchased from Luminous Fiber Arts. So that was my only whip. I did finish the Primitive Hair Be Mine. Got that all done. I love it. It is stitched on chocolate mud slide, 1/1 on 28 count. I think it turned out awesome. Not sure how I'll finish it. Someone had mentioned there was a frame or a sign that they had seen at a store that's similar to my Kroger. So she suggested looking there for it. She said that stitch would probably look perfect in it. So that's what I plan on doing. Probably put it in a frame or some type of finish like that. A flat finish. Thrilled with that. And I mentioned Misty's chart release. So I got the PDF. I printed it and I started stitching on it Saturday, January 26th, and I finished it last night, Wednesday, January 30th. I was absolutely thrilled with it. I did do color conversions. She had listed, I think there was Weeks and Gast, and no, she had all Weeks Dye Works with the DMC references. I used, I just pulled the DMCs and then kind of color matched my over-dyed flosses with similar ones. This is stitched 1/1 on 36 count macchiato from Luminous Fiber Arts. I was thrilled with it. I just think that is so adorable. Did I say 1/1? It's not 1/1. It's 1/2 on 36 count. But I was thrilled with the colors and how it turned out. It is so cute. It's about a 4x5 size, but I was thrilled. Absolutely thrilled with how it turned out. Love it. Love it, love it. So 2 finishes in 1 week. I was thrilled with that. I did total my hours on the Be Mine. I spent 15.5 hours stitching that from start to finish, and the Bluebird's Message, I spent 18.5 hours between Saturday and yesterday stitching that. So I was thrilled with that. I need to get my Valentine's fully finished. You know, it's only a couple weeks away, 2 weeks away to be exact. So I need to get busy on that. So my plans, usually I don't take my Christmas decorations down until late February, early March. My husband is like, look, come on, we got to get this stuff down. It's almost time to put it back up again. So I plan on actually taking some of that down this weekend, early February, which is really, really early for me. Usually I hardly ever get it down before Valentine's Day, but getting these Valentine stitches, and I have some Valentine quilt pieces that I'll share with you next week. But I'm wanting to get that out, you know, move on to the next season. I'm kind of over all the Christmas stuff, which is unusual for me, but I don't know. I have all these stitches that I want to get out and get going. So I plan on working on that this weekend, taking my Christmas. It'll take a few days for sure, but I plan on starting on it this weekend. And my husband and I will be going to our Derby Dinner Playhouse. Going to see Love, Sex, and the IRS. It is a comedy there. They have the dinner and then the show on the stage, and it is fabulous. Super excited about going to that. It'll be our little date night. We're doing that Friday. And he's off this weekend, so he gets to help me carry the Christmas boxes in and out of the house. And my other plan is to stitch and stitch and stitch. It was freezing cold, as most of the country was aware. You know, the Midwest, they really suffered this weekend, or this week. It got down to 0, maybe -1 or -2, but then the wind chill was about -20, and we haven't seen that cold of weather in a it's gotten down to 0, but not with a wind chill like that. So we did survive. We got a little bit of snow, maybe an inch or so, enough to make it look pretty. But then this coming Monday, it's going to be 68 degrees. 68 degrees from -20. So if you're familiar with Ohio Valley, we have a phrase that if you don't like the weather, give it 10 minutes and it'll change. And it's so true. It's very true. I've lived here my entire life, and from one day to the next, it's totally different weather. So it's just the craziness, and that's part of the Ohio Valley, and we're used to it by now. So I think that's all I have this week. I was thrilled to get the 2 finishes in, so I'll be stitching some more this week, and hopefully have some more finishes to share with you. So until next Thursday, catch up with me on Instagram. I do like to post there what I'm working on each day, what I'm going to be stitching on, or when I'm taking my Christmas down, or putting my new decorations out. So that's it. Look for me at Yankee Creek Stitch, and like this video, subscribe, and I will see you next Thursday. You all have an awesome week.